Sunday night at 7 on 13.
This is 13 in Rochester, WOKR.
A 13 Eyewitness Sports exclusive, live from the Rochester War Memorial. The final game in the 1983 Section 5 AAA basketball tournament. The Ridgemen of Webster Thomas take on the East High Orientals. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by the RT French Company, a Rochester headquartered firm that makes the world's best-selling mustard and lots of other good things to eat. French's, a part of Section 5 for 17 years. And by Rochester Coca-Cola, A.L. Anderson and Sons. In Section 5, Coke is it.
At the War Memorial, where tonight unbeaten Webster Thomas takes on East High School for the Section 5 AAA Championship. It's a game that really goes beyond the two schools involved. It affects the whole community, turns them on, excites the communities as well. But by night's end, only one team of these two will be able to proclaim that they are Section 5 AAA champions. Good evening, everybody. I'm Perry Williams, and welcome here to the War Memorial, where tonight Thomas takes on East High School. And with me is Fred Cowgill being on the color commentary for us. I think, Fred, a great matchup here tonight.
Two great teams. Webster, of course, top seed going in, unbeaten in 21 games. They've done it all season long. They haven't won a championship since 1961, so they're looking for the big guns. East hasn't won it in 3 years, so they'll want it too.
Okay, East High School lost only once this year. That, of course, that was to McQuaid on Valentine's Day. And I guess when you talk about East High School, Fred, you talk about, first of all, Ken Henry.
Henry is one of the best, 6'6", the guy can do it all. He leads the team in scoring 18 points a game, block shots, rebounding. He's a one-man franchise.
Well, of course, if Henry doesn't get the job done for some reason, which is unlikely, but there's always a good supporting role in Jimmy Bridges.
Another franchise player, yeah, it's nice to have two. Bridges, one of the best guards in the league. He can play forward as well. He can go to the inside, one of the best there, can also pop from the outside.
Okay, Ken Henry, Jimmy Bridges doing it for East High School tonight. Now Webster Thomas, they went through the season and the playoffs, of course. Unbeaten, they are now 21-0, and I guess they have two tall threes in front, and one is Pat Kelly.
Kelly, of course, going to Syracuse next year as a football player, quarterback. He's tremendous there. In basketball, doesn't have the great leaping ability, but he's bulky, big inside. He gets his own rebounds when he misses and gets big points.
Okay, he's 6'6", and on the other side, a 6'7" junior. That's Mike Wager, who's really come on at the end of the year.
Right, the only junior in the starting team for Thomas. Wager averages 15 points in the playoffs after only 11 in the regular season. He's done it well, and he'll be the man to stop if East plans to win.
Okay, there'll be a third member of our broadcast team here tonight, and that is Jim Kelly, and let's go over to Jim right now.
I'll be along the sidelines. I'll have some strategy plotted by the coaches as it progresses through the game from both Sal Rizzo of East High and the Webster Thomas coach Bill O'Rourke. And we'll, of course, interview some of the fans and some of the audience here at the big house, the War Memorial. So watch us for some strategy meetings along the way and some interviews. Let's go back to courtside with Perry and Fred.
Thank you, Jim. We're just moments away from the opening ceremonies and actually the tip-off of this ball game. And we'll be right back here live at the War Memorial right after this.
You're working hard to see the day. Your uniform says USA. And you're thirsty to do what they're asking you to. 'Cause there's something big waiting for me and you. Coke is it, the biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is it, the one that never lets you down. Coke is it, the most refreshing taste around. Coke is it, Coke is it.
If you're looking for an appealing buffet idea, try pork chops and potatoes. It's a cinch to make with one of French's newest sauce mixes. Hi, I'm Marlene Cummins from the RT French Kitchens with the recipe. Slice 4 to 6 medium-sized potatoes into a 1½ quart casserole. Sprinkle on an envelope of French's new scallop potato sauce mix, or au gratin mix, or sour cream and chive sauce mix. All three assure you of creamy and flavorful homemade potato casseroles. Then simply stir in 1 cup boiling water, 1/2 cup milk, and 2 tablespoons butter. Top with lightly browned and seasoned pork chops. Bake at 400 degrees for 30 minutes. Then sprinkle with 1 cup soft breadcrumbs mixed with 2 tablespoons butter and 1 tablespoon parsley flakes and bake 15 minutes longer. Serve pork chops and potatoes with green beans almondine, muffins, and apple crisp. For the complete recipe right for entertaining ideas, the RT French Company, 1 Mustard Street, Rochester, New York. French's, we make your life delicious.
We're back live at the War Memorial for the AAA showdown between unbeaten Webster Thomas and East. A great game, a great matchup. It'll be starting in a few minutes, but first let's take a look at how both teams got here on the road to the AAA finals.
3 straight wins have placed R.L. Thomas in the AAA championship game, but it wasn't easy. The Ridgemen struggling early in their first game against Franklin, but finally putting the Quakers away fourth quarter. Next round, Thomas coming from behind again. This time, Sperry blew a 7-point lead late in the game, and Webster kept rolling, setting up their semifinal game against Fairport, which went down to the last shot. The Ridgemen battling the Red Raiders all night, using their height advantage early as Pat Kelly finally scored underneath for Thomas. Fairport showing it plays the inside game too. Phil Yaman sinks it, fouled on the play, as Fairport takes a 7-point halftime lead, and upset seemed on the way. But the Ridgemen rallied as Terry Denson got hot outside in the third quarter, and the chase was on. But Fairport still led by 3 with a minute to go, until Mike Wager hits a basket and is fouled on the play. Thomas now within 1. Wager misses the free throw, but winds up getting the ball back and making the eventual winning basket. Thomas now in the finals for the first time since 1978, where they will face the East High Orientals.
This is Fred Cowgill. The road to the finals was a lot easier for East. Their second round game with Kearney was a blowout from the start. The Oriental fast break was on the loose. It was the same story in the quarterfinals. Aquinas had 1 chance. It ended when the game started. That got East to the semis, and who was waiting for them but their old buddies from McQuaid? The Knights were the only team to beat the Orientals all season, but they couldn't do it twice. Wednesday night, the break and alley-oop Ken Henry did it all. Henry had 22 points. Tom Sheehy tried to stop him, but he was fighting the flu. Although he gave it everything he had, the bug was too much. With his knees weak, Tom came up empty, just 8 points. So the skies were clear for Henry and Tony Jordan. East was on an unstoppable tear. They outscored McQuaid 16-3. Easily advancing to tonight's last stop on the road to the AAA championship. East and Thomas go at it in just a few moments.
So as the teams warm up, East and Thomas getting all set, getting the jitters out. I have with me here Gene Johnson. Gene, you look like you have a few jitters yourself. Are you all excited about this big event?
Well, I think we have a lot of jitters when we get down to this final game. You know, it's the climax of a long, hard season, a tremendous tournament, and the kids are all excited, and we're excited too.
Gene Johnson is the chairman of boys basketball, and you've been involved in basketball for quite a while. I know in the Greece area you were involved in coaching for quite some time.
I really started 25 years ago. I got into the coaching end of it, got involved in Section 5 activities, and basketball's a real love for me, and it gives me an outlet that I haven't had in other areas. And Section 5 tournament really does it for you.
As chairman of the committee, as chairman of boys basketball, what exactly are your duties?
Well, my duties really involve kind of coordinating what happens among all our different chairmen. And to tell the truth, I don't do an awful lot. All the work's done by the Bobby Thompsons, the Charlie Millers, and the people behind the scenes.
You have no say in tonight's outcome then, right?
Well, I wish I did. You know, I think it's going to be a tremendous game, and I'm rooting for both teams. I'm really neutral.
All right, thank you. Gene Johnson, chairman of boys basketball. And let's go back to courtside. Terry Williams and Fred Cowgill.
Dad, I've got an important decision to make.
What's that, son?
I'm ready to buy my first car.
Well, son, you know our old dad has been buying his cars for years. Bob Hastings' Oldsmobile.
Oh, yeah, you always talk about their great service.
That's right. Award-winning service year in and year out. And they're the largest volume Olds dealer in western New York.
That means a lot of people buy Bob Hastings Olds with confidence.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. And with their wide selection of 83 Olds now and the low GMAC 11.9% financing, there's none better.
I knew you'd steer me right.
Next week on PM Magazine, see how Mariga Shriver, star reporter, gets the scoop on the stars.
Discover amazing advances in facelifts.
I think it's super fantastic.
Feel what it's like to free fall 5,000 feet in 40 thrilling seconds.
And see a painless way to quit smoking at a no-smoking camp.
It's all on PM Magazine starting Monday at 7 on 13.
Perry Williams and Fred Cowgill back live at War Memorial for the Section 5 AAA basketball showdown between unbeaten Thomas and the East Orientals. They're warming up, the final warm-ups. Right now we're going to take a look at how both teams got here, starting with Perry and Thomas.
Thank you, Fred. You know, it's the dream of any basketball team to go through the season unbeaten, simply because it happens so often. Well, that was the story this year with the Ridgemen from Webster Thomas and Coach Bill O'Rourke Jr. I know, for you, that has to be really a dream come true.
Yes, it is. It hasn't happened in Webster in 22 years, and we've been waiting for a long time for a team like this. We've had some great ones since that time, but never an undefeated one, so we're really happy about it.
Did it surprise you that you were able to go 21-0 so far?
Yes, the league we play in, the opponents we've had in the sectionals, it's just, I won't say miraculous, but it's close to it, because there are so many good teams around, and to go undefeated, and especially as the season goes along, the pressure builds and builds, and you could lose on any given night to the good teams that are around, and we're very fortunate.
Of course, some of those teams you faced in the sectionals, and Thomas was really quite lucky in a couple games to squeak through, and you have to be in the championship game, I know.
I'm very happy. The kids really showed what they had. They hadn't been behind a lot during the year. The few times they were, they came through. But in the sectionals, with the pressure and, of course, the great teams that you play, they really showed a lot of character, and we are very happy.
Okay, right now, let's take a look at the starting five for the Ridgemen of Webster Thomas. Starting at one guard, number 50, John Nixon, a 5'11 senior who pretty much runs the Thomas offense. At the other guard, Terry Denson, number 30, senior co-captain, the top scorer on the team, averaging more than 13 points a game. Number 34, Chuck Whitehill, at one forward, a 6'3 senior, and maybe the best shooter on the ball club. The tallest member is Mike Wager, a 6'7 forward, number 42, averaging more than 10 rebounds a game, and he's only a junior. And at center, senior co-captain Pat Kelly, number 44, averaging more than 12 points and 9 rebounds a game. Okay, that's a look at the starting five for Webster Thomas and Coach. Good luck tonight against East. I know that's a team you've seen many times and looking forward to playing.
Very much so. We're very happy to be here and playing against a fine team like East High, and we hope to give them a great ball game.
Okay, let's take a look now at the starting five for the East High Orientals, and let's go to Fred Cowgill.
Thank you, Perry. We're here at East with Coach Sal Rizzo. Sal, you've had a tremendous year.
We've had a real fine year. The kids have done a nice job.
What do you really think has been the key for you?
Well, we play good basketball together, good team defense, good team offense. We rebound well and we run well.
Was it difficult for you coming off a year when you lost many of the games because of eligibility problems?
No, that's in the past. We don't really dwell on it. It's unfortunate it did happen, but it did happen.
I've noticed the team is really a bunch of friends.
Well, they get along pretty well. You know, like most teams do. They play together, so many of them hang out together.
Let's take a look at the starting five. At guard number 21, Steve Bridges, a 5'10 sophomore averaging 6 points a game. It's his first year on the varsity. He's at his best inside. At the point, it's Kenny Sutton, another first-year player. Sutton's a 6'1 senior averaging just under 6 a game. He runs the Oriental show. At forward, there's Tony Jordan, wearing number 45. Jordan's an All-American running back. He's a 6'3 senior. He jumps so well, he plays like he's 6'6". Number 33, Jimmy Bridges, one of the premier players in the area. The 6'3 senior can hit the jumper and go inside with the best of them. He averages 16 points a game. And the star of the show, Ken Henry, a 6'6 senior averaging over 18 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 block shots a game. He'll make or break the Oriental attack. Coach, game time in just a few minutes. Wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, back to you, Perry.
Thank you, Fred. We're back here live at the War Memorial. Of course, two other people are kind of starting, I guess you could say. Very important members in this game, and they are the officials. Very tough job, and Jim Kelly standing by now live with those two gentlemen.
Just a real quick, this is Fred Urzetta. Fred, you guys are kind of the unsung heroes behind this game.
Well, not really. We're just here to try to do the best we can and let the players decide it. That's our job.
You do a good job. And this is Rich Rose. If you people can hear me, it is Rich Rose.
Right.
All right, Rich, we look forward to a fine game from you as well. I don't know if the people can hear behind us there.
Okay.
I saw you stretching up. You guys do some exercises before the game?
Yeah, you like to limber up so that you don't pull something early in the game and get into the game, get warmed up, and then you're all right and ready to go.
All right, good luck. Have a good game. All right, let's send it back to Perry.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy. The officials, a tough job tonight, but we'll be back live for the start of the game right after this.
Reach deep inside you. Reach for a feeling that's right. Reach for the taste that's special. Reach for Sprite.
You know, of all the caffeine-free soft drinks, only one gives you the taste of lemon. Sprite. Great lemon taste. Still caffeine-free.
Reach for the lemon. Reach for Sprite. Reach for a Sprite.
Next on the People's Court, they split up and he takes the refrigerator.
Why did you take it? Because I left. Or she said get out, so I took my refrigerator.
And she wants it back.
That's my refrigerator. It was mine. I'd love to have it back.
And she's worried because
Not knowing I was a friend of hers, he said he would destroy it before he would let her have it back.
it's the case of, hey, that's my refrigerator.
Weekdays at 5:30 on 13. On the next episode of More Real People, we'll go to a club in Chicago that features amateur performers of every possible description.
There's people here that are extremely talented.
You'll meet a dedicated gymnastics coach who prepared young girls for Olympic competition.
It's a beautiful sport. It's an art, in a way.
And we'll see a fast and furious rope jumping competition in Bloomer, Wisconsin.
But if you don't think it's a long time, try jumping as fast as you can for 10 seconds.
More Real People, weeknights at 7:30 on 13.
Welcome back live at the War Memorial. This is Perry Williams along with Fred Cowgill and Jim Kelly. You can see they're finishing the starting introductions for tonight's game. And Fred, it's not a sellout crowd, fairly close, but very, very noisy.
Yeah, an excellent one, especially for Thomas. It seems like most of the town has come out for this one. And it's important for this team. You know, they haven't won since 1961. And Thomas themselves has never won since the split. Schrader went one way, Thomas the other. Also, you know, that is very much on their minds, the unbeaten season. A lot of pressure on these guys tonight.
You know, I think, too, that as far as the Webster side is a lot noisier and much bigger, of course, too. I think that one reason might be is that the family O'Rourke has had so much to do with Webster basketball over the years. Bill O'Rourke, Sr., coaching them the last time they were in this game for years, and then his son, Bill O'Rourke Jr., of course, taking over about 5 years ago.
Yeah, and has done very well with them. Bill played with them under his father and has really kind of, you know, brought this team along and groomed them well. 4 of the 5 starters are seniors, the only junior being Mike Wagger. Wagger being an important part of this whole team, and looks like we're almost ready to tip off.
We are indeed, as we are just seconds away from the opening tip-off of tonight's Section 5 AAA championship game behind the East High Orientals and the Richmond from Webster Thomas, who are unbeaten going into this game at 21-0. Ken Henry will jump center for East High School, going against Mike Wager for Thomas. Fred Urzetta throwing it up. And here we go. The tip goes to East. Jimmy Bridges controls it. Takes the shot. Not there. The rebound to Henry. He puts it up. Not there. There's a foul on the play. Looks like they're calling it on Kenny Henry. Of course, that's his first team first. And John Nixon taking the ball out of bounds for Webster Thomas. Gets it into Terry Denson. Back to Nixon. Chuck Whitehill over the line. Back to Nixon. He will pretty much run this offense for Webster Thomas here this evening. In the corner, Denson. He pops him about 15 and he hits. So, first blood taken by Webster Thomas. They lead the game now 2-0, and back comes East High School. This is Kenny Sutton. That's Jimmy Bridges in the corner. Doesn't get the iron, and the rebound going to Mike Wager. He averaged about more than 10 rebounds a game during the regular season.
One thing about this East team, if they don't get started early, they do have some problems. You know, they don't get the run and gun going.
Denson takes a shot, it's not there, and the rebound. Battle for. Picked up again by Denson, muscling his way in, and it's blocked. Back comes the East High Orientals. This is Steve Bridges. Down the lane, he pops, and he is called for the charge. Fred Cruzetta calling charging on Steve Bridges.
I think the big key here early is going to be whether East can establish their running game. Thomas has been known for the slow down pattern game. They can run, but they really, if they can stop East from getting going, they're going to be in great shape.
So here comes Thomas with the ball out of bounds. Put in the play to Chuck Whitehill, number 34. Back to John Nixon, he's a senior. Most of the people on the Thomas team, Fred, are seniors, with the exception of Mike Wager. Ball stolen by Steve Bridges, in for the easy 2. Yes, Steve Bridges steals the ball and scores, and we're knotted up at 2.
Bridges has been an important part of this East team this year. He's really gotten it going for them when they've struggled. They struggled against McQuaid in that second game when they took their first loss of the year, and he's done the job for them at guard.
Ball and bounce to Denson. Drive to Wager. Wager pumps, and it's stolen again. And here comes Jimmy Bridges. He drives, puts it up, and it doesn't go. They've called the foul. They're calling it on Nixon. The ball will be out of bounds to East High School. Popped into Henry. He shoots. It's not there. And Bridges with a rebound. If it goes, yes, it counts. Jimmy Bridges tossed the ball in. Kenny Henry missed the shot, but Bridges had wandered into the playing area, got the rebound, put it in, and he was fouled on the play.
Bridges gets many of his points at the free throw line. He's the best foul shooter on the team. He gets just over 70% of his free throws. And this will be another important part of the fast break for them.
And he puts East up by 3 at 5-2. There's Sal Rizzo, of course, been at East High School for so many years and been in this championship game and won it 7 times. Terry Denson, Chuck Whitehill. Yes, it is there. Chuck Whitehill has a great shot from the corner. If he's on, it could be trouble for the Oriental tonight. Back comes East. Steve Bridges, only a sophomore. Of course, his brother Jimmy plays. He just dished it off to Jimmy. 4 Bridges brothers have played for Sal Rizzo at East High School. It's quite a story, Fred.
Yeah, he says he's ready to pay off the family by taking him on a little trip to Florida at this point.
That's Kenny Sutton. He doesn't belong to Bridges' family, but he hit for 2, so they now take the lead at 7-4. And an infraction has been called, so the East gets the ball. Once again, looks like Thomas is a little shaken up here early, Fred, as far as their ball handling goes. Inbound pass to Henry. Not there, and it's picked off by co-captain Pat Kelly. Back comes Thomas. This is John Nixon at the top of the key.
East has been especially aggressive on defense, and I think that's to force their run and gun game to get going. That's what they've done, and very successful.
This is Nixon. He's an underrated shooter from the outside, John Nixon is, popping for 2 right there. He had a key shot in the quarterfinal game against Sperry that sent the game into overtime. Eventually, of course, they beat the Sperry Comets. So they reached the semifinal where they beat Fairport, and here they are tonight. And here comes Terry Denson on the drive. He fires. It's not there. Gets his own rebound, and they have called a foul. The foul is on Ken Henry, his second, so that's something we'll have to watch out for here this evening. Ken Henry, will he get in foul trouble? We'll see. He has 2 already. So there's a timeout on the court. Right now the score is East leading unbeaten Thomas 7-6. And we'll be back here in moments with the score. East 7, Webster Thomas 6. But first, this pause.
Watch out, McDonald's. This coming week, Burger King presents the results of the flame broiling versus frying opinion poll. And the winner is...
Tab Cola, what a beautiful drink. Tab Cola, for beautiful people. Tab Cola, you're beautiful to me. Real cola tastes just 1 calorie. Tab Cola, what a beautiful drink. Tab Cola, for beautiful people. Tab Cola, you're beautiful
On Monday's Donahue, Phil looks at the pros and cons of parental notification of teen birth control. I'm Don Elhart.
And I'm Wanda Miller. And then on Morning Break, we'll begin a 3-day look at inexpensive ways to increase your fashion wardrobe and redesign it for your own personal body type.
That's Donahue at Morning Break, Monday morning beginning at 9 on 13.
Back here at the War Memorial, Terry Denson putting it in bounds for Webster Thomas. John Nixon at the top of the key. 7-6. The Richmond are trailing the Orientals from East High School. Here's Chuck Whitehill from outside, and he hits. That's a second bucket, and it puts Thomas into the lead.
Whitehill has not been talked about much this year, but very selective on the shots. Chooses the spot on the floor.
That's Kenny Sutton. He missed a nice rebound by Mike Wager. And here comes John Nixon. Whitehill to Denson. Thomas, of course, Fred, the more patient of the clubs offensively.
Really, and very poised. A lot of characters. Great shot there.
Mike Wager putting it in, and he was fouled on the play.
These guys have shown a lot of character in the sectionals. Down much of the time in the last 2 games to get to the finals. Both times coming back late. Wager, the big part of this team.
Okay, here it is, Fred.
Wager underneath, averaging 15 in the playoffs. Holds to the last second for the jumper. An excellent play.
But he blows the free throw, gets his own rebound, puts it up, and he gets the iron.
Reminds you of the last game they played against Fairport. Wager with the key shot in the seconds before the end of the game.
Missing his free throw, following up with the winning basket in that ball game. Here comes East, trailing now by 5 points, 12-7. Of course, the Orientals love to run. When they get in the gear, watch out. But they've been slowed down recently. Here's Tony Jordan, and his shot is blocked, and it's blocked again. And finally grabbed off by Chuck. Great defense right there by the part of Pat Kelly inside. John Nixon fires from about 17, gets the front iron, and the rebound goes to Jimmy Bridges, and here's Kenny Henry. Southpaw shot. Bridges is there, and he puts it in. Ken Henry seems a little bit off so far here in the early going.
Yeah, and Bridges is making up for it now with 5 points, and he's been very hot. He's also taken an awful lot of shots. He really seems to want the ball.
Okay, East gets the ball and bounce fairly easily against the press. They put Pat Kelly up there around the center line, and of course, being 6'6", he gets the ball fairly easily. Here's Terry Denson. This shot is blocked by Steve Bridges, who saves it. And a diving Tony Jordan, of course, he's one of the best football running backs in the area. He too going to Syracuse next year, and they're giving the ball to East High School.
Actually,
Thomas gets the ball out of bounds.
Actually, Tony's going to Kansas State on a football scholarship.
Guys, stand corrected. But nevertheless, one of the great running backs here in the Rochester area. The alley-oop inside to Wager, and he blows the shot. And back comes East. Air ball and out of bounds. Kenny Henry could not get the rebound. So Thomas takes the ball again. They have a 3-point lead. It's 12-9 with 3:02 remaining here, first quarter.
Both teams are still trying to establish their games. It's like a great chess game at the moment. No one's willing to give in and go to the other team. And it's remained very close. It's a very good game so far.
They're having a little trouble getting the ball in bounds. They finally do it, though. Here's John Nixon taking it over the center line. Here's Wager inside. He is stuffed by Henry, and watch out here. They've called a foul on Nixon. That'll be his second. It is a second foul. You hate to see it, but probably a good foul because Ken Henry was all alone underneath the East basket, and you know he just would have rammed one home. So East ball out of bounds. That's the third team foul on Webster Thomas here tonight.
East is very lucky in that they've got 2 guys that are franchise players. Either man can get the job done when one is off. But the big problem for them now, Henry really has to get into the game. Bridges, I don't know if he can carry the team the whole way.
Your coach, Sal Rizzo, said the other day he wouldn't want to coach anywhere else, but with players like that, why would he want to? And here's Henry, and he still is having trouble getting the ball to drop. John Nixon takes it back out. Denson fires and he hits. Denson, too, a pretty good shot, underrated. Also a very brilliant, very intelligent student. Freddie's considering all Ivy League schools in his college selection.
Yeah, in fact, I understand he told me the other day that he's not impressed with Yale.
No, he didn't like Yale, but evidently he's talking to Brown and Cornell and some of the other Ivy League schools, so you know the guy has some smarts upstairs. Jimmy Bridges not there, and the rebound to Pat Kelly. They're doing an excellent job on the defensive boards, allowing East to really only one shot.
Kelly's been excellent in rebounds all year long. He leads the
Here's
team.
Denson, and he traveled on the play.
He led the team in the regular season, but actually in the playoffs, Wagger's done the better job underneath, averaging 15 rebounds a game.
Bill O'Rourke giving instructions to his team, and Jimmy Bridges talking with Coach Sal Rizzo. It's 14-9 with 1:40 remaining here in the first quarter. Hope you're enjoying the game so far. A lot of action early on.
Thomas, after losing the lead early, has really come back well with the tough rebounding underneath of Wagger and Kelly.
Inside, Tony Jordan, and they're having trouble with their inside game, which is so unusual for the Orientals, and Sal just sits down, and you can't believe it.
If there's one fault of this East team I've noticed much of the year is that they tend to lose their poise at times. If things do not go their way, there are leadership problems.
Well, here's a foul that's called on Tony Jordan.
East foul, number 45, Anthony Jordan. That's his first.
That is the 5th foul on the Oriental team, so they will be in the 1-and-1 situation. Going to the line for Thomas is Mike Wagger.
Wagger's been 4 for 8 from the free throw line during the playoffs. Not exactly great, but he's known to be better during the regular season. Especially a clutch player. The man that could really, I think, will be the key for Thomas in winning this game.
Well, the key thing is that he hit the first of the 1-and-1, which means he gets a second shot, which is coming up right here. And he makes it 16-9, a 7-point lead for Webster Thomas. Steve Bridges in the corner, dribble behind the leg, between the legs. Back out front. Kenny Henry is blocked by Whitehill. Grabs control. Terry Denson going to slow it down, try to take a smart shot here with 45 seconds remaining first quarter. John Nixon inside to Wagger. He fires. Not there. And they are going to call a foul here on Terry Denson.
Thomas foul, number 30, Terry Denson. That's his first 4th team.
That is the 4th foul on the Webster team, so they will not be going to the foul line. And that is the first foul on Terry Denson. Here's Jimmy Bridges. All net for Jimmy Bridges right there, number 33, a senior. He's considering several schools. And there you see the score. It's Thomas now by 5. And they've called the 5-second call on Thomas. They did not get the ball in bounds in the required 5 seconds. So East High is going to take over the chance to cut that 7-point lead now down to 3. It's 5 now, and that now 6 seconds remaining in the quarter. Steve Bridges to brother Jimmy, and it's not there, and the Kenny Henry cannot get the rebound. So kind of a surprising first quarter, I guess, because a lot of people thought East would really blow them out of here, but that's not the case, as Webster Thomas and Richmond, who have not won a sectional title, R.L. Thomas itself has never won a sectional 5 title, and the Webster team has not won since 1961. They're out in front at 16-11 at the end of 1 quarter of play. Good quarter for Webster Thomas. Coach Bill O'Rourke's got to be happy. He's going to talk to.
There's something very special in Rochester called Camp Good Days and Special Times. It's a summer camp where kids with cancer can have the time of their lives with other kids like themselves. It's a place of sharing, caring, and loving. And now, McDonald's is donating 25 cents from every Shamrock Shake you buy to Camp Good Days and Special Times to help keep the good times going.
McDonald's and you.
It wasn't easy getting this crew to try a caffeine-free cola. They didn't want to give up taste.
And they didn't. With new Pepsi Free. Leave it to Pepsi to make caffeine-free cola taste this terrific. Pepsi Free. There's regular and sugar-free with 1 calorie. I knew they'd like it.
The taste is positively Pepsi and it's caffeine free. Positively Pepsi free. Pepsi free.
Terry Williams, Fred Cowgill, and Jim Kelly back here at the War Memorial. We're ready for the second quarter of action. 16-11. Thomas is leading right now. Fred, some of your thoughts right now in the first quarter.
The big minus for East. Henry is not producing. He's 0 for 4 from the field, no points whatsoever, and he has 2 fouls, so we'll have problems if he is to go out with rebounding, which they already are having.
Center jump, Mike Wager. And it's controlled by Pat Kelly, but he cannot get it back in bounds in time. So East will take the ball out of bounds.
Leading scorer in the game so far, Jimmy Bridges, with 7 points for East and 6 points for Mike Wager, 2 for 4 from the field.
So 2 of the big men doing it early here in this Section 5 AAA championship game.
And East not in the run and gun, forced to play the Thomas game for the moment.
Jimmy Bridges, they're having a great deal of trouble getting those shots off inside with big Pat Kelly, 6'6", and Wager, 6'7". They're inside, but they couldn't get away in time, so there's going to be a jump ball call.
Thomas is one of the tallest teams that East has seen all year long, and with Henry underneath, that's all they've needed. With Jordan's great leaping ability as well, but with 2 big men in Wager and Kelly, it's been tough.
Of course, their one loss was to McQuaid and their big center star, Tom Sheehy, but that's just one man, and they beat the Knights the other 2 times they played them.
A nice move with the out of bounds off the foot.
The old out of bounds off the floor trick. John Nixon gets it in bounds. Pat Kelly takes it for the drive, the left-hander, and he misses it, and back comes East. They're starting to run. Off the Kenny set. 1 pass too many. Perhaps he should have taken the shot. A nice effort by Tony Jordan. If he runs over linebackers or hops over them like he did over our table over here, he'll have a good college career ahead of him.
Problems for East trying to get that run and gun going. You know, they're forcing the ball right now, but at least they're, trying. They've got to break out of this.
Chuck Whitehill with the basketball, number 34. He's a 6'3" senior. Here's Whitehill again with the basketball. They're really taking their time. A deliberate offensive attack here by the Ridgemen.
They can afford to be with a 5-point lead.
Trying to go inside, and they passed it off, and Mike Wager ends up with it, and he cans the shot. A great game so far by the 6'7" junior.
Wager now with 8 points, game high.
Just surpassing Jimmy Bridges of East on that basket, and here comes East back with the attack.
Surprising, Thomas started in the zone this game for the first time this season and has stayed in it the whole way. They've been man-to-man every other part of the season.
And Wager with the rebound. Of course, if they try to stay, it would be a mistake to try to stay with East High School on a man-to-man basis, because simply the Orientals are too quick of a ball club.
Jimmy Bridges told me in practice on Friday that if Thomas tried to run and gun with him, it would be over quickly.
Okay, here's another steal, and Steve Bridges ends up with it. He goes down in the lane, and he gets the front part of the rim as well. And a foul called on Thomas on the play. Bill O'Rourke says there wasn't a foul there, but it looks like they're calling it on Chuck Whitehill. That is his second. And going to the line will be Jimmy Bridges, number 33.
Jimmy again trying to carry the whole load for East. You know, he's a great free throw shooter and all, but Henry is 0 for 5 from the field right now. So Bridges really is forced to take some shots he may not want to.
Well, he just made one from the line anyway, the front end of a 1-and-1. So he gets a second coming up right here. And it's 18-13 now. Thomas lead cut to 5 points.
Thomas ball.
Thomas taking the ball out of bounds. East is putting a lot of pressure on getting that ball inbounds, and it paid off right there as Kenny Henry ends up with the basketball. And back come the Orientals and Jimmy Bridges. To brother Steve, and he hits. So Jimmy Bridges hands off to Steve Bridges, and it cuts the lead down to 3 at 18-15, and the Thomas team wants to talk it over.
Perry, you know, East is really doing well after the steal. You see here a great shot by Steve Bridges. You know, East forcing the pressure on defenses, letting their fast break get going. Of course, they still trail by 3, and shooting from that far outside is not Bridges' game. He's known as a great inside shooter, but really and great ball handler. But the inside stuff is left for Henry.
Is that clear? I want to see what they react. We had them there, and we let them off the hook. You know, what the hell? My speech early before the game was worthless. You had them there. You had them 7-0, and you never remember what the hell to do. Now let's go. Let's go. We can tie or lead. We're going 4. We're going to split them out of that zone. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, let's go.
Coach Sal Rizzo of East High, he's saying that they're playing their game, they're playing the quick game, they made some steals, they're getting in the transition, but they're blowing the inside shots. Also, he's yelling on the sidelines, you're not listening to me, you're not thinking what I told you. So they're trying to get back to basics, look for him to get into Ken Henry again, and work the ball inside, back to court side.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy, for that sideline report from the East bench. Sal Rizzo, of course, giving some instructions to his troops who are now down by only 3, 5:28 remaining here in the first half. John Nixon with the ball. He drives down, he takes the shot, and it's not there, but the rebound going to Pat Kelly it was. Pat Kelly puts in the rebound, and he's fouled on the play.
Kelly's game is to not always make his first shot and to get the offensive rebound and put it in. 3 out of 4 rebounds for him this year have been offensive rebounds.
Okay, the foul is on Jimmy Bridges' first. We should mention, by the way, that into the Eastern lineup is Eric Chance, number 43. He has replaced Tony Jordan. Jimmy Bridges, all net. What a great game he has played here this evening.
Bridges now with 11 points. 11 of the 15, of the 16, of the 17 East points.
There you see Pat Kelly, and probably not the type of guy you want dribbling the basketball down the court at 6'6".
Much more adept at throwing the ball than dribbling it.
This is Steve Bridges to Ken Henry, the left-handed shot. Still not there for Kenny. Ken having all sorts of problems getting the ball to drop for him.
A few moments ago, Eric Chance coming in at forward for East. Eric, Coach Sal Rizzo told me, really goes in to try to get things going when the other forwards, especially Tony Jordan, have their problems. Tony's not known as a shooting forward, just a great rebounder. Right now, they need some points. And so Eric is in the game, a good shooter. He averages 9 points a game, 52% from the field. And so if he can help East get it going, they'll be right back in this.
Of course, Kenny Henry, a little bit off right now, but it's been quite a year for him when he talked to him earlier about his career at East High School.
Well, we was unfortunate to lose that one game that we did lose, but it's not bad when you win all the rest. It's been great, you know. Out of 4 years, I could say this was the best year I had.
Best year he had at 4 years at East High School. Of course, here he is now for the first time ever in the Section 5 AAA championship game.
And those were Henry's first points of the first point of the game.
And here comes Jimmy Bridges, a chance to put East in front, and he misses the layup. Battle for the rebound, it goes to Chuck Whitehill. This is off to Terry Denson. Terry's going to slow it down, bring it down court nice and slow. Here's Kalpak Goudet, a junior guard, a 6-man for the Webster team, checking into the lineup. To Denson, back to Kalpak. He's can penetrate the lane very well with the basketball. The shot not there, and knocked out of bounds, and they'll give it to the Ridgeman from R.L. Thomas.
Kalpak's only a junior, averages 4 points a game. He's done fairly well in the playoffs as well. Is a good substitute, good 6-man off the bench at guard.
He had a good game against Fairport in the semifinals. A couple key baskets and some key assists as they pulled it out in the closing minutes to beat the Red Raiders. Here's Kalpak. The shot, and it's blocked, but he gets his rebound. And he feeds off inside to Pat Kelly, puts it in. That's exactly what I was saying about Kalpak's ability to feed off inside.
The character of this team continues to show they will not give up on the first shot. They will fight for that ball and go up for others. It's great, and Kelly underneath. It helps when you're 6'6".
Here's Steve Bridges. He fires, and it's not there. And Kelly grabs the rebound. And here's Kalpak Goudet. Almost lost the ball, but is picked up by Pat Kelly. And here's Terry Denson. They've called the foul inside, away from the action. And they called it on Calpac Uday, and he says he doesn't know what he did. Remember that Rich Rose called it away from the action, so they'll go to the line with a 1-and-1. And checking into the East lineup is one of the most exciting and maybe smallest players you'll find in AAA action. It's Earl the Pearl Williams.
One of the favorites of the Williams-Cowgill show. I've seen him play early in the first East McQuaid game. Earl makes it happen on offense off the bench. Inspirational. Sal Rizzo talks about when he really needs to get things going. Earl, he's only 5'5". I can't believe he's that tall. More like 5 foot. He goes under guys like Tom Sheehy and Pat Kelly.
Okay, here's Eric Chance hitting both ends of a 1-on-1. He's a 6'3" junior forward, so he'll be back next year for Coach Sal Rizzo at East High School. And here's Calpac Uday. 22-21. Thomas in front here with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Dish off to Chuck Whitehill, into Pat Kelly. Takes the shot, not there. The rebound, no, and they're going to call a foul. Looks like it's going to be on number 42, Mike Wager. So we're getting into a foul situation here where it's only Wager's first, but nevertheless, it gives East a chance to take the lead if they make both ends of the 1-and-1. And going to the line, and once again, it's Eric Chance. He was just there a minute ago, and he made both of them.
Having an effect on Kelly and Wager, although combined they have 10 rebounds against East, and that really demonstrates the problem East is having, but they're using other ways now with Chance and also Earl to go underneath the height.
Well, I think it's the first one, and there's a chance to put the Orientals back in front for the first time quite a while, which he does at 23-22. Here's Terry Denson. He's one of the co-captains on Richmond, the Richmond-Thomas fame. Thomas-Richmond, actually. And the steal, though, to Kenny Sutton, and the drive, and he misses it. And the rebound is not there. He fires again. Finally out to Eric Chance from the corner. No, they call 3 seconds on the play. It looks like they might have called it on big Tony Jordan, number 45 inside. So Thomas gets the basketball right back.
East with their first lead in some time, but Thomas remains poised.
And they're going to call that foul on Kenny Henry over his back of Pat Kelly.
I think that was Tony Jordan, if I'm not mistaken, that had the foul there.
That is correct. Stand corrected. That's Tony Jordan.
Kelly is not exactly the greatest from the free throw line. In fact, Phil O'Rourke was not exactly crazy about the idea of giving us this stat. He only shoots about 36%.
And it just went down there. Well, Pat Kelly, he sure can throw a football, but whether he can make free throws is a different story. Of course, he won't be required to do that at Syracuse in his collegiate career.
East now trying to pull Thomas out of that zone defense.
This is how they started the game the other night against McQuay. Kind of a slowdown to try to bring him out to a man-to-man. And since they have the lead, they can do it. Sal doesn't care. He looks up, he sees 2:06 on the clock, and let's play keep away.
The question everyone has been asking is, can Thomas run and gun with this team? And Sal wants to find out. In practice on Thursday, he talked about that the only way that East had really the best chance of winning was that run and gun.
You got to feel
Here
for
they go.
Here's Jimmy Bridges. Not there. The rebound, though, to Tony Jordan. Finally wrestled away by Mr. Kelly, Pat Kelly.
Sal not crazy about that, but Kelly with his 6th rebound of the game.
And here's Calpac Uday. Inside to Wager, and he hits bumming away. Mike Wager puts Thomas back in front. Now they cannot play the keep-away game. They're going to have to take it to the basket. This is Kenny Sutton, and he hits from about 15 feet away, about the free throw line. They're taking Kenny Henry out of the ball game, which is probably a wise move with a minute to go in the half, so he doesn't pick up his 3rd foul of the game. Terry Denson.
With Kenny out, it also gives him a chance to regroup. With a minute left, he can kind of take all this in and come out in the second half a lot fresher.
Well, they called it on Earl the Pearl Williams, and there you can see about his height. When he walks back to the line, you'll see him stack up against a couple of the other young men there. Earl only 5'5", he is a sophomore.
Earl has been known to go under the arms of many of the Pat Kellys and Mike Waggers of the world.
There you see Earl. You did see Earl compared to Jimmy Bridges, and there's quite a difference in height. Terry Denson at the line, and he's shooting a 1-on-1. The team's trailing 25-24, and he misses it. But Wager with the rebound, and another rebound. Mike Wager missed once, got his own rebound, put it up again. He missed it, but he was fouled on the play.
The height of the Richmond right now really destroying East. It's happened the whole game long. They've been able to get around it with pulling them out of the zone just recently, the last few minutes. But it's interesting.
Mike Wager is a junior, and he has improved greatly throughout the year. He started the year off in the shadow of Pat Kelly, but now things are turning around for him.
In the beginning of the season, I was kind of timid, and I was playing in the shadow of Pat. And now things are starting to roll for me a little better, so it's working out.
Well, it worked out right there. He got 2 free throws and put the Richmond back in the lead at 26-25 with 44 seconds remaining, first half of this AAA championship game. Boy, if it goes down the wire like this, it'd really be something.
Both teams have been primed all year long. They've looked good and they've played their own games.
Now down inside of 30 seconds, Kenny Henry back into the game. And here's Ken Sutton to Jimmy Bridges. That's taken by Kenny Sutton. Swish. Probably not the type of shot you want to take, but nevertheless he canned it from 17 feet. Here comes Pat Kelly with about 6 seconds to Terry Denson. He fires. Not there, but there's a foul. And they're calling it on Calpac Goudet. That's his second foul. So what basically that does, it gives East the opportunity to go to the line and possibly increase their lead from 1 to 3. They make both free throws. And Eric Tance is the guy who's going to give it a shot.
Chance came in and hit his first 4 free throws after being on the bench, one of the big reasons they're in the game.
But he missed that one. But Henry misses on the rebound. Nevertheless, the first half has ended here. The Section 5 AAA championship game. The team's going to the dressing room with East High Orientals leading the Richmond from Webster Thomas 27-26. And let's go over to Jim Kelly right now.
Well, as you mentioned, East High is leading by 1 point. We're going to try to grab Coach Sal Rizzo. He's talking with the referees right now. There's been some discussion, which I'll talk about in a moment. Sal, can we get you just for a moment? Your team is leading by 1 point at the half. I know you want to give the boys a precarious lead. What are you going to tell the guys for the second half?
Well, we're not playing very good ball. I think, they're coming up with all the loose balls. We're not. I think there was a couple calls that could have gone our way and haven't gone our way. That's part of the game, but I think we'll regroup and we'll come back playing ball the second half.
Thanks for your time. All right, what happened there is at the end, Sal Rizzo was talking with one of the referees. He was adamant about a couple of the calls down at in fact, there were some words exchanged, and the referee just said, hey, cool it, I'm in control of this game. So Sal Rizzo, he's a little more intense than Bill O'Rourke Jr., and he is going to try to intimidate the refs any way he can, but the refs say, no thanks, we don't want any part of that. Send it back to court side, Perry and Fred.
Thank you, Jim Kelly, for those interesting comments, and of course Sal Rizzo, because I know it takes some time to get into the locker room with the boys with his team only up by 1. Perry Williams with Jim Kelly and Fred Cowgill. We'll be back just after this with the score. East High 27, Webster Thomas 26.
Continued mild and breezy tonight. Our forecast at 11.
We're at halftime here at the War Memorial, and there you see the score. East High School leading the Richmond from Webster Thomas 27-26. Perry Williams along with Fred Cowgill. And Fred, quite a first half. It seemed like Thomas pretty much controlled the action the first quarter, but the Orientals coming back late in the second quarter to take the lead by 1.
The big surprise, although I'm glad they did for their sakes, is they came out in the zone defense instead of the man-to-man, so East could not run on them. Both teams tried to establish their games. Thomas did it with Mike Wagger with a total of 7 rebounds, 12 points. East did it finally in the run and gun, slowly, with Jimmy Bridges with 11 points, but Ken Henry did absolutely nothing.
I think that might be the story. Ken Henry, certainly one of the most talented high school players in this area, and probably a good Division I prospect. Well, he is. He's just having an off night, and this is the championship game, and I know a kid like that wants to go out a winner.
Yeah, and he gets back in it late in the game, takes a 1-point lead at halftime. But the surprise to me is that Henry comes back in, he has 2 fouls, and then in the last minute, he enters the game again. That'll be another problem. Henry has never been in foul trouble all year long. If they lose his ability underneath the boards, they're already having problems. That could mean great things for Thomas.
And of course, that would open up even more perhaps for Mike Wager, who had an outstanding first half, leading Thomas pretty much in that first quarter and to where they are. He's a big guy competing inside there to get those rebounds, and they did an excellent job, particularly on the defensive board.
Yeah, Pat Kelly and Wager both did tremendous jobs with the rebounding, totally out-rebounding East.
Okay, these teams somewhat perhaps reflect the characters of their coaches, but it only takes one. That only one gets the honor of Coach of the Year in AAA, and that RT French Award came the other day with Jim Kelly. Let's go to Jim right now.
Thank you, Perry. Each and every year, just before the championship game, there's a luncheon sponsored by the RT French Company. They call it the Captains and Coaches Luncheon. It's for Section 5. And before we get to the Coach of the Year Award, which is what the luncheon is all about, I'd like to introduce you to somebody from RT French, Chuck Chadwick, the Public Relations Director. Chuck, you've been behind Section 5 for a long time now.
Jim, thank you very much. It's been the privilege each year for the RT French Company to be able to sponsor the luncheon and the Coach of the Year Awards. We feel very privileged to be able to do it. It's our way of being able to put something back into the community. RT French Company's been in Rochester for many years, and this is a way that we can share something with the people of our area and help to recognize and reward the talents of both the players and the coaches. This year, it's my special pleasure to be able to present the AAA Coach of the Year Award to Sal Rizzo, the fine coach of the East High School team. He has been responsible for compiling another great team this year. They're currently 20-1, and of course in the finals of tonight's game. Sal, congratulations! You've done a marvelous job. This is Sal's third award. He first won it in 1973. He repeated again in 1978, and who knows how many more are out there in the years ahead. Congratulations.
I don't know if we have too many more years, but I especially want to thank the RT French Company, the officials and the sports writers, and especially the coaches. I would be remiss if I didn't thank my ball players. They make me look good during the year, and I appreciate this award. Thank you.
Thank both of you very much. All right, there we have the AAA Coach of the Year, Sal Rizzo of East High School. And once again, behind the Section 5 basketball, the RT French Company. Let's go back to courtside now.
Thank you, Jim Kelly. Of course, there are many awards that are given out this time of the year as the season winds down, and there's some outstanding cheerleading teams around the Section 5 area. The AAA championship team was announced just moments ago, and Fred Cowgill has that award coming up right now.
Thank you, Perry. I'm here with Dottie Guerra, the head of the Section 5 cheerleaders, the coordinator. Dottie, how did this whole thing get started? How long has it been going on?
Well, the competition has been going on for about 10 years, in its present form for 9 years. The last 2 years we've added a sectional final, so really the last 2 years in its present form.
What do you look for in the girls? What are the things you judge to find out what makes the championship team?
Well, a lot of people say skill is the major thing, but the cheerleaders have an awful lot to do during those basketball or whatever sport they cheer for, and this includes the image, the way they look, the sportsmanship, spirit effect, the floor cheers, as well as the sideline cheers. Now, a cheerleading squad is responsible for the sportsmanship not only of themselves and the team, but attempted control of the fans.
Really?
This is a really tough part of the competition. Another good part of it is the spirit. They're responsible for making an exciting atmosphere for the sports that they cheer for.
And I think we have a trophy.
We
have a trophy,
do.
And we have a AAA champion this year.
That's right. Our AAA champion this year is Gates Chili, and accepting for the team is their coach, Carol Obeck.
Ah, the Spartans.
Thank you.
Carol, what was some of the strong points for the Chili this year? Going through the whole season, what were the girls like?
They had a level of enthusiasm this year that's
far surpassed any one that we've ever had. In the 6 years I've been coaching, these girls have had so much spirit and have worked so hard to raise the level of cheerleading at Gates and to raise the level of enthusiasm for the school.
Well, tremendous. Why don't we take a look at them? The Spartan cheerleaders of Gates Cheerleader.
Go. Reaching up! Right out! Reaching up! Reach out! Sliding! With his
I need to go over this stuff with you. Okay. Give me 2 minutes to type this up. It's fine. If you're gonna need this. Congratulations to all the girls from Gates Cheerleader High School. We're at halftime, 27-26 East in front. And we'll be back with more activities here at the War Memorial right after this.
Sugar-free Sprite. Reach deep inside you. Reach for a feeling that's right. Reach for the taste that's special. Sugar-free Sprite.
You know, sugar-free Sprite doesn't have any caffeine, but it does have something no other sugar-free soft drink has. Great lemon taste.
Reach for the lemon. Reach for Sprite. Sugar-free Sprite. Sugar-free Sprite.
Kodak, where photographic products, skilled people, and public service mean more than photography.
You're looking at the unexpected granola bar.
Unexpectedly moist. Not crumbling. Unexpectedly chewy.
Chewy granola bars from Quaker. Unexpected.
A granola bar with chocolate chips.
Unexpectedly moist and chewy.
You can certainly see the difference in a Quaker Chewy granola bar, but it's a lot more fun to taste it.
Unexpectedly moist and chewy.
Quaker Chewy granola bars.
It's delicious.
Terry Williams back here live at the War Memorial halftime. There you see the score, East High ahead of Webster Thomas 27-26. Of course, this is just one of the championship games Section 5 holds every year. There are 6 in all. The Class D champion was Greenwood, but there were 2 other championship games played last night, 2 this afternoon. Let's go to Fred Cowgill with a look at some of that action.
Honeyway and Arkport.
Geneva's last title was in 1950. Mendon had never owned one until now. The Vikings and star guard Greg Monroe responded to the pressure with a run-and-gun show that no Panther could stop. Monroe hit from every part of the floor early. By half, he had 22 points, and the Vikings led by 8. Geneva fought back with number 25, Tyrone Scott. Scott did some damage inside, but his 19 points wasn't enough to bring the Panthers back. Monroe is MVP with a game-high 33 points, and Mendon wins their first AA championship. The A game was between big winners. Charlotte was defending champ. Sodas had won 3 of the last 6 years, but not this time. Charlotte and number 42, Press Murphy, get it going from the start and never trail. Sodas closed ground only in the 4th quarter when number 14, John Curington, made a last-ditch effort to bring the Spartans back. But Curington's 22 points wasn't enough. Murphy gets a game-high 24. Charlotte pulls away late, and the Lakesiders win their 2nd straight title.
Arkport meeting for the 4th and most important time this year for the Class C championship. The Bulldogs controlling the action behind number 32, Bob Coe, getting 2 of his 10 points. The Blue Jays make a run early fourth quarter on the long-range shooting of number 35, Steve Lee, who had 6 points in the game. Then nice passing in the alley-oop pass to number 53, Mark Staub, to bring Arkport to within 10, but they would never be that close again. As the Bulldogs iced it when Greg Ward put in the rebound, and Honeoye was on its way. All that was left were the final moments for Arkport, their season over, as Honeoye wins the Class C championship 42-31. It was Clyde Savannah against defending champion Lions for the Class B title. Herbie Small hits the last shot of the third quarter, game tied 46-all after 3. That sets the stage for a wild fourth quarter. Number 34, Willie Barnes, getting 2 of his 22 points, a game high. The Lions came right back in a basket by Tim Led, and the seesaw was on. With only 36 seconds remaining, Dave Fichette ties the game at 59, and they eventually went into overtime. And that's where Lions jumped out with 2 quick baskets. Here Fichette scores off the break. And quickly, Clyde Savannah was up by 4. They held on to win it 64-61 in overtime. Clyde Savannah, the new champion, Class B. Once again, Greenwood the winner in Class D. One more at halftime here at the War Memorial, but right now, let's take this break.
If you could make the ultimate coffee creamer, how would you make it?
I'd make it taste rich and creamy, with no cholesterol, no preservatives, and only 10 calories.
You know what? You'd have made
Coffee Mate non-dairy creamer.
It has no preservatives, no cholesterol, and only 10 calories per level teaspoon. And Coffee Mate is made specially to cream coffee.
Tastes creamy, delicious.
Try Coffee Mate from Carnation, the ultimate coffee creamer.
Now, Estee Lauder helps skin care become skin repair. Introducing her new Night Repair, a cellular recovery complex that works every night to help speed the natural repair of cell damage from the day's ultraviolet light. Estee Lauder's new Night Repair. There has never been any beauty treatment like it. Use it and wake up to better-looking skin. Night Repair, now in all Sibley's cosmetic departments.
We're back live at War Memorial for the Section 5 Basketball AAA Championship. East High leading at halftime 27-26 over unbeaten Webster Thomas. Right now on the sidelines, Thomas head coach Bill O'Rourke with their own Jim Kelly. Jim?
Thank you, Fred. Bill, your team down by a point, but they've been down before. They've come back in the second half all year long. Tell us a little bit about the first half and what we expect the second half.
We feel we've done a good job on the boards. The game wouldn't be as close as it is if we could have gotten the ball up against the press a couple of times. We had a nice little lead there, and we may have been able to get a little bit further out if we had gotten the ball up, but we didn't, and of course that's one of East's strong points. We're pleased with the score. We don't consider that really being behind. It's a new ball game as far as we're concerned. We still have to play just as tough as we did the first half if we're going to beat this team, and I'm really proud of the kids the way they're playing.
What did you tell them at halftime to beat that pressure?
Just to be patient and keep your cool and do what we were doing the times we were successful in doing it. And if they do that, we'll be okay.
All right. Thanks, Bill. Good luck second half.
Thank you.
All right. There you have it, Bill O'Rourke, Jr., coach of the undefeated Webster Thomas team. Let's go back to courtside. Fred and Perry.
Thank you, Bill and Jim. Right now we have Perry Williams on the sidelines, at courtside, with the president of Section 5, Lyman Shields. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Jim. I'm here with Lyman Shields, who's the president of Section 5. And Lyman, I guess it really indicates how big Section 5 is. In fact, you're from Bradford Central, and can you tell us where that is?
That's in the southern tier beyond Bath, heading towards Corning, Barry. So it's about, takes me about an hour and a half to get here, about 80 miles.
So it's a long truck for you, but I know you enjoy it every year. This is a tremendous tournament that the section puts together.
It certainly is, and we're very pleased that it turns out this way because this supports most of our activities.
Let me ask you this. You've been president now of the section for 2 years. Is it any easier, perhaps, for you the second time around, or are there different responsibilities and pressures for you?
No, I think it's always easy because of the great help that you get, not only from like Gene Johnson and his basketball committee, but from all the people. You'd be amazed at the amount of volunteer help that we get from athletic directors and superintendents and so forth. So it's a pleasure to hold the job. It really is.
You know, I think that you go around, and we hear this a lot in media. We go to a lot of different luncheons in this area and other places, but people talk about Section 5 a lot and what a tournament this is compared to other sections. Why do you think other, let's say Section 6 in Buffalo, or maybe some of the other sections around the state don't have this type of tournament?
I think maybe, Perry, it's because of the outside help that we get from the communities around, the industry and so forth. Everybody in Section 5 seems to pull together and really produces. Does a great job.
Okay, a great tournament again this year, Lyman. Congratulations to you and everyone else in Section 5. Now, we'll be back right after this.
No, we got 3 kids now looking for a bigger house. Here's the
beautiful drink.
a real beautiful little ballerina. Look at this thing. Isn't she adorable? Hi, honey. Your wife? Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Oh, beautiful.
Taste 1 calorie tap. Looking for a good dinner party idea? Here's a new recipe that's light, low in calories, and really delicious. Best of all, savory chicken sauté takes just about 40 minutes to make. Hi, I'm Noreen Cole from the RT French Kitchens, and I'll show you how to make it. Brown 4 chicken breasts with a little onion in a large skillet. Season lightly with salt and pepper. For the sauce, combine 1/2 cup chicken broth, 1/4 cup Widmer Chablis or other white wine, a tablespoon each French's Worcestershire sauce and lemon juice, and 1 chopped tomato. Add to the chicken and simmer 20 to 30 minutes. Then add 2 carrots cut in strips and a drained can of mushrooms. Simmer 10 minutes longer, just until it's tender. Savory chicken sauté is perfect for a small dinner party, or you can double the recipe for a buffet. Serve with tossed salad, crisp breadsticks, and sherbet for a light and surprisingly easy dinner menu. For the complete recipe, write for entertaining ideas, the RT French Company, 1 Mustard Street, Rochester. French's, we make your life delicious.
Perry Williams, Fred Cowgill, Jim Kelly back here at the War Memorial. We're just seconds away from the start of the second half of this most exciting AAA championship game. East High leading Webster Thomas 27-26. Quite an interesting first half, Fred.
Yeah, the leading scorer for Thomas right now is Mike Wagger. Wagger did it all for the Richmond in the first half. 12 points, great shooting from the free throw line, 4 for 5. For East, it is Jimmy Bridges. Bridges was just tremendous with 11 points and 3 through 3 from the line. Ken Henry really had some problems. Really could not get any shots off, only had 2 points both from the free throw line, but had 5 rebounds. He will be the key for East if they're going to come back in the second half. And really, again, for Thomas is to stay on their slow pattern game. And for Kelly and Wagger, who were tremendous in rebounds with 16. Wagger had 7, Kelly had 6. Blowing out East in rebounding 16 to 13. If they can continue to dominate the boards, Thomas will go unbeaten for the whole season.
Okay, the Thomas cheerleaders trying to get their fans going, and there are thousands of them here tonight, and the referees has called both teams out onto the floor. We're ready here for the start of the second half. Mike Wagger waiting for Kenny Henry to get into the jump circle at center. Some final instructions from referee Fred Urzetta.
It'll be interesting.
Been official since 1962, so he's seen plenty of high school basketball in his time.
It'll be interesting to see how Henry reacts to the slow first half. He's a very competitive player.
Okay, here we go. The start of the second half, and the ball is taken. Well, it doesn't go to anybody. Lost out of bounds, and they will give it to Webster Thomas.
Yeah, you talk about the big guys on Thomas. They had 5 block shots in the first half. East only had 2. So they're really having their effect on the inside game of East and the run and gun.
Terry Denson bringing the ball inside to Kelly. Spins around, shoots, and he hits. Pat Kelly. So that gives Thomas the lead once again. And here comes East back to the north basket here at the War Memorial. Kenny Henry cannot get the shot. Tried to put down by Bridges. He hands out in front to Kenny Sutton, who puts it off the glass, and then a pretty shot by Kenny Sutton in heavy traffic. Now they're having trouble getting the ball up court. knocked out of bounds, and they'll give it to East High School. So pressure defense already by the Orientals here to start the second half. They have the lead by 1.
Ken Henry had problems there again underneath. The big men are really giving him problems. He's really faced no one but Tom Sheehy all year long in this kind of height.
Nevertheless, they're up by 1, and they're playing the slowdown game once again. Jimmy Bridges right in front of our announcing table here at the War Memorial. You got to feel sorry for John Nixon. He's the guy that does all the running around, and it's a game of keep away, and he can't get the ball. He's just too short.
Thomas started the second half again in the zone. East is now trying to force them out of it so they can stay ahead, and it's nice when you have a 1-point lead. Also, everyone was talking about what a cake season that Thomas had against competition. They had faced no one in County West. There was Brockport, of course, and then in the playoffs they proved they could play even with many teams, including Fairport. But what a great season in County East. And now, all kind of comments about them not being able to meet up the muster with these guys is obviously out the window.
Of course, I guess any time you go through the season, 21-0, there's all sorts of factors involved. Of course, a little bit of luck. The injuries maybe perhaps do not play a factor, and you're lucky that way. But certainly the skill has to be mentioned. There, keep on the game, keep away. And this is
This has now gone on for about a minute and a half, and Thomas refuses to come out. As long as one man is challenging the ball, that's all that matters. Sal Rizzo is instructing his players not to move. He wants all of Thomas to come out of the zone.
Now Terry Denson is the guy in the middle, the guy who has to run around try to get the basketball, and it's got to be really frustrating. If you ever played that game keep away, and I have when I was a kid, and I never got intercepted much, but...
And Sal Rizzo watching the refs to make sure that they have someone challenging the ball at all times and not getting away with one man forcing the action on all three. And East has the advantage in that they've got 3 solid ball handlers here. And they're tempted to go into it. Thomas is trying. No, they're still in the zone.
We have a whistle. It looks like something is on the court, and so that's going to slow up action as if it wasn't slow enough. I think there was a lot of question, not so much whether East can run. We know they do, but here they're playing a slowdown. The question seemed to be whether Thomas could run. At least that was the question Jim Bridges was asked just the other day.
They got a good team, a nice coach. They got some big guys, so I feel they're going to be hitting the boards. But I don't know if they can, run. I don't know. That's the question right there. Can they run?
Well, the question now is East going to ever run again? They're playing keep away, and there you see Steve Bridges with the basketball, bothered by John Nixon. John's got to watch it. He's got 3 fouls on him.
And Thomas has not had to run all game. They've been able to do it their way. Both teams have just gotten by on their own games, but no more, playing really even.
Now they're going to the hoop, and it's knocked out of bounds, and they're going to give it to Webster Thomas. So we waste about 2 minutes of game action, and what happens? They try to take a shot, and it's knocked out of bounds and given away to the Ridgemen. And back comes John Nixon. Terry Denson, not there in the rebound. Goes to Denson. Nice hustle there to get his own rebound. He throws it back out in front. John Nixon saves it from going across the timeline.
We've gone through 4 minutes of game action, and we've scored 4 points.
Well, there's no point scored there. The air was touched, and that was all. John Nixon shot, and not the shot that I'm sure that Coach Bill O'Rourke Jr. wanted a member of his team to take. It was about a 17, 18-footer.
And here we go again.
Here we go again. This time, it's Kenny Sutton and Steve Bridges out front, and here's Jim Bridges taking the shot, and it's not there. The rebound to Tony Jordan. He spins, he fires, and they're going to call a foul on, looks like Pat Kelly. Pat Kelly fouling Tony Jordan, who grabbed the rebound, put it up, fouled on the play.
Jordan only averages 3 points a game in the regular season. He, in fact, only shoots 40% from the field. He's really the rebounder on the team, the guy that's just a big body out there.
Coach Rizzo started him in the quarterfinal game, and he sinks the first one of 2.
Okay.
They played Aquinas in the quarterfinals, won easily now. When he started, Tony Jordan did. He misses that second free throw. And Thomas comes back with the basketball, trying to tie. Terry Denson, very competitive player, co-captain. To Pat Kelly on the drive. He shoots. He hits. But they say he traveled first. Traveling call on Pat Kelly. So it says East 30, Thomas 28, with 3:25 remaining here, third quarter, which has flown by because of the keep-away game of the Orientals.
Another thing to remember, you know, they're playing so tightly, they're checking so well that Thomas is getting into foul problems.
Steve Bridges to Jim Bridges. Takes it down, throws it back out front. By the way, into the game for Thomas is Craig Chapman, number 24. He's about their seventh man. He comes in relief of Chuck Whitehill.
Whitehill sat down with 3 fouls.
Chuck, of course, hit a couple baskets early, but hasn't done much since.
Still basically in the zone defense.
Inside Jimmy Bridges. We'll see who they call the foul on. Looks like Pat Kelly. Foul on Pat Kelly. So all of a sudden, Thomas has 2 team fouls, and checking in just as quickly as he checked out is Chuck Whitehill and Craig Chapman leaving the ball game. Probably wanted, Coach O'Rourke probably wanted Whitehill to get a little breather. Although I don't know why. I mean, the guys out front have been doing all the running around, John Nixon and Terry Denson. Looks like East is going more to let's keep away and more of a pattern attack here. Steve Bridges to his brother Jim.
Unusual for East, they're showing patience.
Spinning is Kenny Sutton, and hitting is Ken Sutton. So East with their biggest lead of the game at 4 at 32-28. Here's Chuck Whitehill. Back out front to Nixon. Inside, not there, and Anthony Jordan. So East certainly controlling all the action here, third quarter, and here they are on the break. Steve Bridges not there, and the rebound to Mike Wager, takes it with one hand.
Now it's opening up
Nixon
on the break.
To Kelly, and he blew the layup. The game heating up now. Here comes Jimmy Bridges. The shot. It's in, and it will count. They count the basket, but they will call the foul on Jimmy Bridges. That is his second. They're called charging, but they say he came down after he had put the shot up. So the basket is good. It's now 34-28, 6-point lead for East.
Bridges now with 13 points leading in the game, and Thomas will make a big mistake if they continue the run and gun because Jimmy's eyes lit up when that started just a few moments ago. Also, another big key for East now is Sutton with 10 right behind Jimmy Bridges.
So other people picking up the slack for Ken Henry, who's having an off night here. Terry Jensen back to John Nixon. Thomas is going to have to get something going here to get back in the game. They trail by 6 with 1:17 remaining, third quarter. Terry Denson feeds it inside the Wager, spins around, shoots, it's short, and Anthony Jordan there for the rebound. So Tony Jordan has picked up the last 2 rebounds, and Jim Bridges, he misses. Ken Henry, finally. Kenny Henry with a rebound in the bucket, and Webster Thomas wants to talk it over. They trail 36-28, the biggest lead of the ball game for either team. East starting to open up here, third quarter.
That was Henry's first basket of the game, only his 4th point on the break. That's his best way to do it. And Jimmy's eyes, Jimmy Bridges is really running the show. Let's listen in.
Why are we pressing man-to-man? We press zone, and then we drop back 2. Yeah, regular zone press. Now, no, you don't come up. You come up to the man. If someone goes down, you take that man. We don't have any. We're not in trouble on fouls. Now, let's not get in trouble. Let's not get in trouble. You got 2. You got 2. You got 2. Let's keep going. Let's go, babe. Let's do the same thing we're doing. Now what we're trying to do is slip the ball to the foul line. It wide's open for you, Kenny or Steve. Take the jump shot. These guys will slide in the rebound like we just been doing, okay? All right, now get that fast break going, all right? Ready? 1, 2, 3, let's go! Run, run.
Okay, you heard Coach Sal Rizzo giving his team instructions. What a great career he has had at East High School, replacing, actually succeeding Mauro Panaggio, one of the great basketball names in this community. Of course, Mauro, the coach of the Rochester Zeniths, and been at Franklin, at East High School, other high schools in the area, Brockport State, of course. And Sal filled in for him in the mid-60s and has had great success since then.
Thomas has fallen into the run and gun, and they've only scored 2 points in the entire third quarter. East, meanwhile, is 4 for 9. They love the fast break, and now they're up big.
Here's John Nixon as Thomas is trailing by 8 points. The steal, and they call a foul here.
Sutton is doing so well.
Quite sure who they called it on. We'll have to wait and see. Looks like they called it on John Nixon. That is the fourth on him, so he goes out of the lineup, and Kalpak Goudet is back in.
Makes the all-name team.
The all-name team. Kalpak Goudet, he'll be back next year, Fred. Only a junior, of course. So he'll make the all-name team next year. And here's Steve Sutton, not there. Pat Kelly with a rebound. Thomas has to hit a bucket here fast. And here's Kalpak Goudet, looking for somebody to throw it to. He finds Terry Denson. Whitehill fakes, shoots, hits. Chuck Whitehill, that's his spot, Fred, is from the corner. If he gets hot, watch out, he can burn the bucket. 5 seconds to go. 2-1. And that's the end of the third quarter. So East High comes out in the third quarter impressively and builds a 6-point lead, 36-30.
And Thomas outscores East outscores Thomas rather 9-3 during the quarter. Let's listen to the Thomas huddle right now.
One quarter, we gotta play tough. Stay in the low post. All right. Kalpak on the point, Terry on the wing. You come to the front, to the middle when you can, okay? But you got to also rebound baseline. As soon as Pat gets it, then go to the hoop and rebound, all right? Now, they go into that stall. Let's see if we'll send the one man out and see if they bring it in. If they don't bring it in, us being behind, we got to go to our 1-3-1 trap, but you got to protect the basket, okay? All the time, protect the hoop. So Chuck, you fight hard back in there when it's on the opposite side. Same with you, Mike, on the other side, okay? All right. Any questions? Let's go.
All right, Bill O'Rourke and Webster Thomas are work cut out for him, down by 6 points. There's the strategy. Played tough. None of the guys seem rattled. The coach very calmly, unlike his counterpart Sal Rizzo, giving instructions, and they've got their work cut out for them. They're going to look for them to high post it. Those are the main instructions, and they'll keep one man underneath to protect the basket. Let's go back to coach side.
Okay, here we go. The start of the fourth quarter, and this is Tony Jordan going to the hoop. Not there.
This game has opened up considerably.
They have called a foul. Looks like it. It is on Kenny Henry. That is 3 on Kenny. He picked up 2, of course, quickly early on in the game, first quarter, and hasn't picked one up since until now. And here's Pat Kelly. That's Chuck Whitehill, and that time he doesn't make it. Back comes East, Jimmy Bridges. Nice steal by Kalpak Goudet. The feed to Kelly, and the slam. Pat Kelly.
Kelly and Wagger were dormant in the third quarter, and on the run and gun, they were able to do it. Still, if they continue this, I think East will be the winner. They've got to slow it down. Bridges now with 13 points. Wagger was shut out in the third quarter. He still has 12. Kelly has 8.
And Thomas gets the ball back. Of course, Thomas is no stranger from coming from behind. They did so in several of their sectional games. trailing Sperry by 7 with a little over 3 minutes to go, and they pulled that one out. And of course, they won the game against Fairport in the last minute. And here's Kelly again. He's fouled in the play.
I think that foul may have been against Ken Henry, which if it is, it would be his 4th, and he's going to go sit down right now. He's not even going to wait for the call. And that could be big trouble for East. Eric Chance will come into the game to replace Henry. Henry has not been a dominant force in scoring, but he has 7 rebounds, and with Kelly and Wagger doing so well there, Chance has got his work cut out for him.
So Eric Chance into the lineup, gets a little handshake there from Anthony Jordan. I guess if you're East High and you want someone at the line, it's Pat Kelly because of his very poor free throw percentage. But here he is, and he made that one, a key one. So the 6-point lead is shrunk to 1. 36-35, 6:55 remaining in the ball game.
East has been very fortunate with their great ball handlers. They only have 8 turnovers. Thomas has 15, and that was at the point they turned over many of them that East got the lead on the run and gun.
That could be the story in the game, the turnover situation.
And foul problems.
They go inside. Jimmy Bridges, no one there, wisely didn't try to shoot. Here's Ken Sutton. Here's Jim off the glass, and what a rebound by Wager. Mike Wager with a rebound, and back come the Ridgemen. Kalpak Goudet to Wager, fouled by Eric Chance.
Wagner now beginning to make an influence again. Kelly with 5 points in the 4th quarter, so they may take over without the big man of Henry in there. Chance, not all that tall, only 6'3". There are going to be some problems for him.
Okay, Mike Wager missing that first shot. You know, the thing, I guess these guys are really going to play their hearts out now, because for one of these teams, it'll mean the end of the season, and for many, the end of their high school career. And they've called a timeout with Mike Wager at the line. 36-35.
Come out of that game.
Great.
East in front.
Great comeback. You got him on the run. We may be behind. We've got...
The voice you hear is that of Bill O'Rourke Jr., the Thomas coach.
Every single time.
Now let's go to Jim Kelly near the Thomas huddle.
Okay, I'm not in the huddle right now, Perry. We'll get down there in just a short time. We're up in the stands, and who are you rooting for, sir?
Webster.
Do you have any stake in this? Any family members on the teams or anything?
No, my daughters go to school at Webster.
So you're just out supporting the town's team then?
Right.
What do you think of the action so far?
It's been great.
It's been great. Thanks, sir, for your time. All right, who are you looking for in this game?
East.
You're looking for East?
Yeah.
You like the action so far?
Yeah.
They're going to win?
Probably. I hope so.
All right, thanks for your time. We'll get back in the huddles in just a bit. Let's go back to courtside now.
Okay, Jim, obviously you were not near the Thomas huddle, but up in the stands with some of the fans here tonight. We don't have an attendance for the game as of yet, but a pretty good crowd here on hand, especially, as I speak. 52-47 on hand here tonight for the AAA sectional final. Mike Wager trying to tie the ball game. He missed the first one of 2. Hoping he doesn't repeat that action on this shot. Gets a little help and it goes in. We're tied at 36 with 6:12 remaining in the ball game.
And East, after opening up the 8-point lead, actually late in the 3rd quarter, has totally been outscored. The question now, can they survive without Henry?
It's been 8 in a row for Thomas. They trail at one point 36-28. Jim Bridges pops, not there. Usually a pretty accurate shot for Jimmy, and Eric Chance on the rebound. Nice play by Eric Chance.
Chance trying to fill the void that Henry left. I wonder how late Coach Sal Rizzo is going to wait before Henry goes back into the game, especially with the threat of overtime. Now 5 minutes left in the game, and what do you do against guys that are so big?
Well, probably the game might dictate Coach Bill O'Rourke Jr. Thinking over his strategy in the final few minutes, and one might be to give it to Pat Kelly. They put it up right there, and they call him on a foul.
Chance has 6 points off the bench, 4 in the first half, all on free throws. He's done the job underneath well, considering the height disadvantage. Chance at 6'3", and Wagger at 6'7", Kelly at 6'6", and Kelly, the football player, at 215 pounds, where Chance really doesn't have that kind of advantage in weight. Chance is much lighter, only 180. It's kind of like running into a brick wall.
Well, that's the second foul on Kelly, so he's in pretty good shape here with only 5 minutes until left. Here's Kenny Henry. The ball was swiped.
Rizzo didn't wait any longer for Henry. 5 minutes left.
Terry Denson tried to get into too much traffic, and it's taken away by Steve Bridges. Down the court to Kenny Sutton. And he'll slow it up. Back to Steve Bridges, who'll try to set something up for the Orientals.
Thomas back into the zone. East trying to move the ball within it.
Sutton's shot doesn't go, and the rebound does go to Pat Kelly. And here's Calback Goudet. Slows it up, Denson. Terry Denson's been pretty quiet tonight, too. Here's Calpack. Not really the shot you want to take. Jim Bridges on the drive. Kenny Sutton up and over, and the tip to Ken Henry. No, they wave it off anyway. They call it offensive interference or offensive goaltending, but same difference. The basket, if it had dropped, it wouldn't have counted anyway.
We're getting down to the 4-minute mark now. Both teams have 3 timeouts left, and I have the strong feeling they'll be using them, as this probably will go right down to the last second.
Denson almost dragging that trail foot, but no traveling called. Inside of Whitehill, a nice defensive play by Jimmy Bridges, disrupting the shot of Whitehill. Back comes East. Out of bounds, and they're going to give it to the Ridgemen.
East has become so conscious of the rebounding ability of Thomas. Coach Bill O'Rourke calling timeout. They've been so conscious of that rebounding ability that they're even jumping the gun on it.
Okay, with 3:45 remaining here in the Section 5 AAA championship game. The score is East 38, Thomas 36. We'll be back.
You're working hard to see the day. Your uniform says USA. And you're thirsty to do what they're asking you to. 'Cause there's something big waiting for me and you. Coke is it, the biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is it, the one that never lets you down. Coke is it, the most refreshing taste around. Coke is it, Coke is it.
Dad, I've got an important decision to make.
What's that, son?
I'm ready to buy my first car.
Well, son, you know where old Dad has been buying his cars for years. Bob Hastings' Oldsmobile.
Oh, yeah, you always talk about their great service.
That's right. Award-winning service year in and year out. And they're the largest volume Olds dealer in western New York.
That means a lot of people buy Bob Hastings Olds with confidence.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. And with their wide selection of 83 Olds now and the low GMAC 11.9% financing, there's none better.
I knew you'd steer me right.
Back here at the War Memorial, 3:45 remaining in the game, and there you see it. The Orientals of East High School leading the Richmond of Webster Thomas 38-36. Nitty-gritty time, Fred.
They've been through this before. Thomas has. Actually, both have. East only 1 loss all season. Thomas, some tremendous play in the sectionals. When you go unbeaten, you've got to come from behind many times. The character in these guys, especially Kelly, a leader in football, has shown a lot of class on the court. His body, the 210 pounds, knocking a lot of people down. Some good sportsmanship. It's been a great game so far.
Well, it has been. Sal Rizzo, he's been through this before.
He looks it, too.
Of course, you can say that. It's on the other side of the court. Here comes Chuck Whitehill to Terry Denson. Thomas trying to tie the game. They trail by 2. Calpack Goudet with the basketball. Probably trying to look to get it inside. They've taken a couple poor shots from outside and missed them the last couple times down the floor.
Thomas has gotten away from the game they used in the first half to take the lead and dominate. I think they got it by 7 at one point, of really just going straight to Kelly and to Wagger. They tried there and the steal.
throw it away. By the way, the attendance, Fred, tonight at 5,247 is the largest in 3 years here. So very happy for that telecast, and we hope you at home are enjoying this game. Good game so far. And that's the way I'm sure it'll stay, because it's only a 2-point difference and a foul has been called.
Ken Henry's now been in after the 4-foul situation for 2 minutes, and he's really been staying on the outside, staying away from the big men, Wagger and Kelly. Jimmy Bridges, a big surprise, has 9 rebounds, as well as doing very well scoring with 13 points. Kelly has 9 rebounds as well.
Okay, Kalpak Goudet at the line, and coming off the bench, well, he says it's not always easy.
Yeah, it's tough to come off the bench, and when everyone else is warmed up, and you come off and you're pretty cold, it takes a little while to get back into the flow of the game.
Well, he made one of the two, and here comes Jimmy Bridges, and he misses his shot. Kenny Henry with the rebound, and he traveled. Fred Rosetta calling traveling on Kenny Henry, and my gosh, I'm sure there are a lot of coaches around here that Kenny Henry ate their teams alive this year. They were wishing that they had him that night.
It's one of those things, sometimes you just come up empty, and Kenny's trying so hard, he's beginning to press. He's been pressing really for much of the second half, and with the 4 fouls, it's really tough.
And here they come on the break. The steal, Steve checked that Kenny Sutton, and he blew the layup. Scramble for the ball, and Pat Kelly recovering it. And they're going to call a jump ball.
Taking a look at the foul situation very quickly, John Nixon for Thomas has 4, and Ken Henry has 4. A number of people have 3. So if they go into overtime, it could cause problems.
38-37, East in front, and it's going to be Steve Bridges against Pat Kelly. Kelly by size and by right ought to win this, which he does. Mike Wager. There you see the clock, 2:12, 2:11 remaining in the ball game. It's East by 1. Goudet from the corner, and Thomas has taken the lead.
And that's the first time they've had the lead in the second half, down by 1 at halftime.
Only 2 points in this quarter for the Orientals. Ken Henry hits. Kenny Henry hits it when they count. It's now 40-39 East, and here comes Goudet.
Henry now with 6 points. They need him right now if he ever's going to contribute.
Those two were his biggest so far in the ball game. Thomas controls the ball out of bounds. 1:28 remaining. A 1-point basketball game. Chuck Whitehill inside to Wager. He spins, fires. Not there. Back out front, and here's Kalpak to Denson. He hits. Well, I think the action spoke for itself. 41-40. Webster Thomas leading with exactly 1 minute remaining in the game. A great defensive play down the other end.
And the Thomas bench is going wild. They did exactly what they wanted to, and I think they proved right there that they can run and gun when they need to. And the most important part of the game.
Okay, Sal Rizzo giving us.
We got to have composure now. We got to press, trap, no foul. Now, if we have to foul, who's the guy that's missing fouls? Who's missing fouls? Kelly? Wagner? 42? We foul 42, and we foul Kelly, okay? If we have to. Before he shoots, make it the 1-and-1. All right? Now, don't quit. Don't quit. You don't believe. That's the whole thing. Goddamn game.
Don't take it out fast like that, man. You can't.
Come on, we can do it. We can do it.
And that's exactly what's remaining. 1 minute remaining in this game. We're going to look for some fouls. when East fouls, it will probably hit number 42 or Pat Kelly. Ironically, the big man for Webster Thomas, but he's not very good when it comes to foul shots. So 42 and 44 probably going to be hacked a little bit. Let's go back to Perry.
Thank you, Jimmy, for that information from behind the East High bench.
Sal should have kept in mind that it's Kelly that is really the worst free throw shooter on the team at 33%. He's 1 for 3 this afternoon.
Well, too bad he doesn't have a TV set by the bench. He could have been listening to us all night. That's what we've been saying. Foul Pat Kelly is the guy, if you're an East High, you'd want to do. But, hey, he hit one before. I guess you never know what these kids are going to do in the sectional final. Chuck Whitehill. Thomas, 42-40.
Pandemonium is breaking loose on the opposite side of the court.
This is a big free throw here and put him up by 3. Doesn't get it.
Big rebound by Henry.
Jimmy Bridges to his brother Steve. The shot, not there. The rebound, Eric Chance. He puts it up, still not there. And they've called another foul on East. With 50 seconds to go, it's 42-40. Webster Thomas. A team from Webster has not won a sectional title since 1961. And the head coach at that time, Bill O'Rourke Sr., his son, Bill O'Rourke Jr., now coaching the R.L. Thomas team.
Kenny Henry telling his players to calm down, calm down. Right now we'll go over to the Thomas bench to see what Bill O'Rourke says.
Nothing has changed, okay?
Let's go, Batman. Hit him, baby. Hit him.
2 points. We're up by 2. He's going to put us up 4 points. Okay?
Do it, Webster.
Regardless of what happens, even if it stays 2, good tough defense, without fouling, we had no layups, nothing inside. Everybody rebound.
Okay.
East, the big problem for them, composure. They've had it for most of the game, but Henry, just before the timeout, yelling to the troops, relax, we've got plenty of time left. East only has 1 timeout with 50 seconds remaining.
Mike Wager at the line. He's shooting a 1-and-1, and this is a big free throw as well. Well, the guys, Sal wondered about whether he should be fouled or not. Went to the line, and he made the first one, and it was a big one, 43-40. So that means you'd have to score on a 3-point play or score twice to get back into the game. 44-40. Oh, my goodness. They've only scored 4 points in this quarter. East has. And they trail by 4.
And 13 in the second half.
Steve Bridges. To Kent Sutton from the corner. Not there. And there's a foul call with 33 seconds to go. It's on Kenny Henry. He's out of the ball game.
You've heard of a death blow?
The crowd from Webster Thomas going crazy. They've seen their team come from 8 behind here in the second half to 4 in front, and they can increase it even more here with Chuck Whitehill.
And the Richmond are just 33 seconds away from their first championship at Thomas ever. The first for the Webster area since 1961. Henry finished the game with 9 rebounds, 6 points, only 6 points at an 18-point-a-game average, just 2 blocked shots.
I think key here now for Thomas is not the foul with 29 seconds remaining in the game. They hit the basket and immediately called timeout. That was Kenny Sutton who hit the short jumper. So 45-42, it's not over. As Thomas goes back to its bench. What a ball game it's been. It's seesawed back and forth. East controlling the action briefly early in the game, but Thomas had the first quarter lead, and then they trailed by 1 at halftime, 27-26. Now, let's go over to the East High huddle.
He's up here, let him get the ball and foul him. First, don't let him get it. But if he breaks up, go foul him. Go for the ball now. Don't push him. All right? Now let's press. We're 3 down. We can still do it. Let's go. Take that ball right to the hole. Okay? Look, Jimmy, take it in. All right?
Okay, Coach Sal Rizzo still plotting his strategy with 23 seconds left. He's been here before. That's only a 3-point game, so he's not giving up. And the kids, they haven't given up either. They'll have to do it without their big guy, Ken Henry. Back to you, Perry.
Thanks, Jim. 45-42 by 3. The Ridgemen are leading. I guarantee you, well, Thomas just threw out of bounds. It's not over. 22 seconds, 45-42.
And watch for number 25, Ken Sutton. Sutton's been the point guard and led the team all year. He has 12 points now and 3 rebounds, 3 steals, and he just dunked that last basket to bring them within 3.
He's one of those quiet leaders on the East High team, and now Thomas wants to talk it over. What is it going to say? If Thomas pulled this out, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of partying going on in Webster tonight. Now we're going to take a listen to see what Bill O'Rourke Jr. has to say to his Ridgemen.
Let's go. Get the ball into your hands. We got to move quicker. Okay, they're quick. We got to move quicker. And now, we've got to make them take a shot with a hand in their face. If you play the tough 2-3 the way you were a little while ago, you're going to run a lot of time off the clock. You're going to foul them, make sure they miss. Hey, we don't want to foul. That's right, but if it does happen, make sure the ball doesn't go. We want no 3-point play. And then we'll set up the little tandem, get the ball in. That's all we got to do. They may not even score again if you play tough. Let's go, guys. Let's do it.
Okay, defense, but no fouls. That's the key. They can't afford any fouls, any cheap points that East might gather. So stay away from the 3-point plays, he told them. And if you get the ball, don't throw it away.
And the only man in foul trouble, Nixon, is sitting on the bench in case there's an overtime.
Well, I think those cheerleaders are ready for the final 20 seconds. Steve Bridges to Jim Bridges. Not there, the rebound. Grabbed by Mike Wager. And they call a foul on Tony Jordan. Correction, that it was Pat Kelly.
Kelly slightly injured on the play, it appears. Just kind of cooling out for a second before he goes to the other side.
It's called kind of wipe the sweat.
Is that what it is? Oh,
yeah. Okay. He's got to be feeling it. He's only averaged a little over 30% from the line during the season.
Let's see if he can shoot like he can pass.
All iron, back comes East. Jimmy Bridges. 5 seconds, he hits it. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. It's over. The game's over. Tell the story. 45-44. The Ridgemen from Webster Thomas win the Section 5 AAA championship, an unbeaten season, 22-0. What a game. We're down to the last shot.
Why didn't Sal Rizzo with East call timeout? He had 1 left. There were 4 seconds left when that bucket was made by Bridges. Sal just put his hands up in the air.
They could have set something up. We're hoping Jim Kelly can get an interview quickly for us. Jim.
Celebrating. You can tell it's their first title ever. I know you got to be happy. I know you got to be real super happy. It's fun.
It's just the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in basketball, I'll tell you. The kids were just fantastic. They showed their heart as they have all season long, and I love them all. It's really great.
I don't know how you can control your emotions. I know you're over here like this, and Sal is just the opposite coach. You're both excellent coaches. Sal jumps up and down, and you more or less hold it in. How can you do that?
I don't know. I've been that way my whole life. That's why the inside of my stomach probably looks like a disaster area, but that's all right. I'll take it.
I thought the key may have been, you guys are down by about 7 points. Kelly dunked the ball.
Yeah.
That really got the team going, I thought.
You know, he missed the layup earlier,
and some people may have quit or given up. Then he comes back down and jams it, and he, that got us going. And there's the result.
Congratulations. We'll talk to you again. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Bill. All right, let's send it back to courtside. We got some more interviews coming up after we take this break.
Okay, thank Jim Kelly. 45-44, Webster Thomas the winner tonight, and we'll be back with more here at the War Memorial. East High School 44, the Section 5 AAA basketball game is now history. This is Perry Williams for Fred Cowgill and Jim Kelly. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night from the War Memorial.
Live from the Rochester War Memorial, this has been the final game in the 1983 Section 5 AAA basketball tournament. Tonight's game has been brought to you in part by Rochester Coca-Cola, A.L. Anderson & Son. In Section 5, Coke is it. And by the RT French Company, the Rochester headquartered firm that makes the world's best-selling mustard and lots of other good things to eat. French's, a part of Section 5 for 17 years. This has been a 13 Eyewitness Sports exclusive.